those of you who don't know me, I'm Jennifer Wilson, and I teach reading and English and study skills classes here. And I'm going to present a topic today called How to Improve Your Writing Skills. So, I guess I can go ahead. Alright, so writing, as you all know, is extremely important. It has become pretty much at the forefront of everything we do. So we write across the curriculum. In every class, you're expected to write. So from 1st through 12th grade, students are expected to write in some form or fashion. Even my 2nd grader is already writing like multi-paragraph essays. But yet, writing problems are very prevalent still. So according to the 2011 results of the National Assessment of Education Progress, only 24% of 8th graders are at or above their proficient level in writing, and only 3% write at the advanced level. So that's probably you guys being gifted students and gifted teachers. You guys see that 3%, but the other 97% is what we're trying to focus on. So 70% of students in 4th through 12th grade are low achieving writers. Students who enter the 9th grade in the lowest 25% of their class are 20 times more likely to drop out of high school. That's a lot. So writing problems can also lead to problems in other areas, as we probably can see, through our classes. If we're not good writers, it's going to be hard for us to succeed in all classes. So the good news is that with understanding, patience, and good writing instruction, middle school writing problems can be overcome. So what does good writing instruction actually look like? So we're going to read examples of good and bad writing, not just good writing. We want to see what bad writing looks like as well. Practice the traits of good writing, which we'll go over those. Practice collaborative writing. Practice meaningful writing. Do self and peer editing, and practice writing often. Okay, so which one grabs your attention? A man's car broke down. It was night. The man walked down the road for a long time. The man saw a house. The man walked up to the house. The man was going to knock on the door. The door opened before he could knock. The man saw something that scared him. Or, on a dark and stormy night, a tired young man trudged down a long, winding road after his car broke down in the middle of nowhere. The man looked ahead and struggled to make out a rickety old shack in the distance. After what seemed like an eternity of walking, he arrived at the creepy cottage. As he was about to knock on the door, it flew open, as if someone was expecting him. He hesitantly peered into the home to see a horrifying scene. So which one grabs your attention more? Obviously the second one. Why is that?
It has more description.
More descriptions, of course.
It uses different clauses.
Okay. Sentence structure. Good job, good job. All right. So when you listen to a boring example of writing versus a very descriptive example of writing with better sentence structure and variation, it catches your attention. Okay? Alright, so the traits of writing, I'm sure teachers, you guys obviously have probably taught at some point the 6 traits of writing. Now we have the 6+ traits of writing. Students, you guys have probably heard of that as well. So these are them: ideas, organization, voice, word choice, sentence fluency, and conventions, which is our grammar and things like that. So let's take a look at these. So first of all, ideas. So let's think ice cream sundae. What is the foundation of an ice cream sundae? The ice cream. Okay? So we start with the ice cream. So that's what a sundae is made of. What's a sundae without ice cream? So the main idea, or your topic sentence, is essential. And it begins your writing. That's your main idea. That's your foundation. And all of the other are just add-ons and toppings. Okay, and your organization. Okay, we're going to kind of think about our organization as our dish that holds it all together. Okay, and that makes the organization makes the ice cream easier to grasp, kind of keeps it from melting away. We wouldn't just hold it in our hands, we need some organization and structure. Okay, and then voice. Voice is our individuality. Those are the toppings. We don't all like the same toppings on our ice cream. Like, I hate pineapple on my ice cream, but other people might like that. You know, I like caramel, some people like hot fudge. So your voice is your individuality, your personality to shine through in your writing. Okay, so without toppings and individuality, your writing is bland. So we want to bring out your voice in your writing. Okay, and then there's word choice. You need something more. Okay, more variety, more word choice. As we saw in the example of the man with his car broke down and going to the creepy house, you know, we use better word choices and it makes it more interesting. Okay, we also have sentence fluency. It's kind of going to be like our whipped cream. Kind of going to make things flow along. So we're gonna vary our sentence structure, kind of keep our ideas flowing in a logical order. You would have like whipped cream on your Sundays. And then of course we have conventions. Those are our finishing touches, kind of the cherry on top. And that's going to be proper use of grammar, proper format. We're going to indent correctly, use proper margins, spacing, correct use of capitalization, punctuation, spelling, verb tenses must agree, subject-verb agreement, all those type of things. Going to use some varying word choices, adverbs, appositives, clauses, and things like that. And it polishes up our work and kind of adds the finishing touches. Okay? There's also a game that I was just going to show you guys an example of. And this game is probably more appropriate to teachers for little lower level classes, but it's still just an interesting game to practice up our convention skills. Okay, this is, I gave the link on here. It's a man called Mr. Nussbaum. I don't know if you've ever heard of his things. So you would just come to the website and just type in your name. Okay, and we're going to play the game. It does have some music in the background. I have it kind of turned down because it just kind of gets monotonous after a while. But okay, so we're going to get started. This is level 1. Okay, so we're going to correct the paragraph. And over here it tells like how many errors there are and what types of errors there are. Kind of like a DOL, but you can do it on the smartboard. Okay, so let's see where we see a few corrections that need to be made. Anybody see one, first of all?
Put a comma after planet.
Okay, comma after planet. So what we would do, we would click on it, and then come down here, and just add our comma. Let's see, I think I have it a little too big. There we go, and then we click OK. All right, anybody see anything else? Okay, what you got?
The miles is spelled wrong at the bottom.
Okay, the miles. Okay, so you just click on the word and fix the spelling, and then click OK. What you got?
More is spelled wrong, like the third line at the bottom.
No, not that one. Where are we? Measure more than 6,000. Surely that one's not it, huh?
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
My bad.
What
I was
about this?
thinking of something else.
That's okay. Fourth. How does we fourth? We need to put a U by the O. Okay. So we're not going to do every bit of it, but you can kind of get the idea. And as you make corrections, it shows you off over to the side. Oh, I guess I took too long, or I made too many mistakes. So that's what you get if you are unsuccessful in your surgery, but you can try again, and it gives you a different paragraph each time. So that's just a neat little writing tool, I think, just a fun little game, and you can time yourself and kind of have little contests in class. Okay? All right. another way to improve our writing skills is to practice collaborative writing. And collaborative writing allows us to work together and to improve our writing skills. We can plan together, get ideas from each other, revise each other's work, edit each other's work, and you can negotiate topics, word choices, purposes, and it just kind of improves our writing by having other people's input. Okay, so you can also assign each student a certain part of the assignment, a certain part of the paragraph. If you were a lower level class working on just writing a paragraph, so one person could come up with the topic sentence, and then 3 people could come up with some supporting details, and the last person could do your conclusion sentence. So the little more advanced writers could, each take a paragraph. If you're writing a 5-paragraph essay, each person could do a paragraph and then combine it and then share each other's work. And also, we've done this sometimes in my class. I act as a facilitator, and I'll actually write it with them up on the board. So that's another way. All right, and then practice meaningful writing. Okay, discuss the purposes for writing. I just listed the 3 basic purposes. The ones that I tell my kids, PIE, the acronym PI. Of course, you have persuade, inform, entertain. There are more that kind of fall under those categories, but those are the 3 main ones that I like to focus on. And you're going to consider your audience when you're writing too. If you're writing to friends, your voice and your formality is going to be much different than if you're writing to, say, the principal or the governor's office or things like that. Okay, so also we're going to use imagery to appeal to our senses. Okay, so I've given everybody a Hershey kiss. So first of all, imagine the description of a Hershey kiss. Maybe just what it looks like, or physically, things like that. So anybody, what's some descriptive words? Hershey kiss.
It's brown.
It's brown.
It's round.
Round. Okay. Okay, maybe hard at first. Okay, all right. So now everybody, go ahead and eat your Hershey kiss. You have a question? Oh, okay. How are they tasting? Very good. All right, guys. Okay, so now, if you were going to write about your Hershey kiss, what differences are we going to include in our writing now versus before?
Oh, smooth.
Okay, smooth, the texture. What else? Sweet. Rich, good. Okay, so now we're actually kind of demonstrating what that Hershey kiss tastes like. We had more of the physical elements of the Hershey kiss. It's round or, hard and now we're describing it. We're telling somebody, we're showing them through our words what it tastes like. So that's evidence of good writing as well, when somebody can imagine what you're trying to tell them based on what you wrote. Okay? All right. Also, self-editing and peer editing is a good way to improve your writing. The self-editing, you can do that by like your daily DOL. I don't know if you guys do that. Do you guys do DOL anymore, or practice critiquing grammar and all that still, or a little bit? Okay. All right, so when you do your own writing, it's kind of like when you do your rough draft, then you're going to go back and you're going to critique it, and you're going to find your errors and your mistakes and go back and look for things you might need to change. Okay, so that's self-editing. And then peer editing, obviously, is when you maybe trade papers with somebody, get your buddy to read it and say, hey, what can I improve, what can I change? Because sometimes having another person edit your writing, they can find things that you might have overlooked. Okay? You can, as students, you always need to give positive feedback. As teachers, we need to give positive feedback as well, because first of all, makes their students feel good. Even if there's a ton of corrections that need to be made, we need to find something positive to tell them so that they don't feel like, oh my goodness, I've been so defeated by my writing. I thought it was good, and now you're telling me, this kind of thing. So just imagine how that makes you feel. So always find something positive to say first. Like, I enjoy your topic, I like what you're writing about, or things like that. Then go into the critiques, the things that they could do better. There's also a checklist. There's a number of checklists on the internet. I found one that I kind of like, and it has a section for the self-editing, and then one for the peer editing. It goes into things like punctuation, capital letters, grammar, spelling, and it just kind of gives you a guideline to go by when you're editing your writing. And I've included a link for that as well. Okay, and then we're going to practice writing often. And I'm sure we all do that. As teachers, we have to, get our students to write all the time, especially in preparation for these tests that are coming up. So there's a big writing component on there. I like to use quick writes. I'm sure teachers, have y'all used those some? You just give like a quick little topic, set a timer, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, however, and just have them, write on the topic. Like, what was your summer vacation, or the best day of your life, or the best gift you ever received? Just a quick little topic that they can kind of get through in 3 to 5 minutes and just write as much as they can. And for our weaker writers, like I teach some of the weaker students, I like to encourage them to get more words in. Just, don't worry so much about grammar and structure initially. Just get your ideas down, and then the rest will come as you practice. And of course, we write across the curriculum. We write in science, we write in social studies, we write even in math, or constructive response questions in math. So the more you practice, the better you become as a writer. All right, so in conclusion, we're going to listen to and read examples of writing, good writing and bad writing. If writing bores you enough, you're going to want to correct it and make it more exciting. Okay, we're also going to practice the traits of good writing. We're going to do some collaborative writing, write with our peers. We're going to practice meaningful writing, write with a purpose. Find something you enjoy writing about. Write descriptively, like with the Hershey Kiss. You want to, really put yourself into your writing and let your writers imagine what you're trying to describe. We're going to practice self and peer editing. Edit your writing. Get good at finding things that are wrong, things that you could improve. And then get someone to read it for you, one of your friends. And then we're also going to practice writing often, which is what we do anyway. We need to get those writing skills built up so they feel more comfortable with writing, and you can make their writing better. So if we can implement some of these strategies, do you think you guys could improve in your writing as students? And as teachers, we could, improve our students' writing. And we can have more success in our writing skills. Okay, are there any questions? Anybody? Okay. Well, I really appreciate you guys listening to me today and being attentive and sitting in with me. And I just had to include my resources. And I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, Megan, do you mind